Mental health 101 for young people, right? Yeah. It's a good question. It's a good question. What are some top tips that I would give to young people to take care of their mental health? You know, this is interesting because mental health is a growing area, especially young people are interested in it. And I've talked about this in other areas like the TED Talk. So the interest in mental health is welcome, but a lot of the content around mental health has tend to be focused on mental disorders. And that's not the entirety of mental health at all. It seems like if you look at the social media, if you look at what's out there, what people talk about, it seems like mental disorders are 90% of it. But in reality, mental disorders are a tiny, tiny part of what mental health is. And even the lens to look at mental health through this disorder lens is a very narrow one, which is based on like traditional medicine. And even in medicine, they're moving away from looking at like diseases that are cured. So I think it's good and positive that people are aware of it, that these things exist, and the labels are helpful for some. So if this is helpful for you, keep doing it. And don't stop there. Definitely not. Look much broader outside of what mental health means. What I notice a lot in young people is that they want to have a label. They want to know like that they have this thing, and I think a lot of that comes from the desire for certainty. Like when you have a label, oh, I have this thing, I'm not crazy, and I know what I can do. Unfortunately, in Cambodia, that also comes with like, oh, I have this anxiety disorder, I have the depressive disorder, and I will go to see a psychiatrist, and there are all this medication I can take. And that's not the question that was asked necessarily, but it's an important point. Too many people are prescribed antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication. They're not that effective for the majority of people. Like the studies show that it's very effective for some people, for about 15% of the population. But for the majority, it's not much better than the placebo. And there are other side effects that impact your body's chemistry long term. So that's one thing I want to say around how to take care of it, which is, actually, let's do this. So if you're going to see a psychiatrist for some mental issues that you have, make sure, so they probably, if they're good psychiatrists, they're going to have a consultation with you. Make sure it's a long enough one. They're probably going to suggest some other interventions like counseling, like therapy. They won't recommend coaching, but you should come to coaching. Exercise, nutrition, good sleep, all of this, you should do those. Unfortunately, what might happen is that they'll also give you a pill and you just take the pill and you won't do the other stuff. And that is not effective long-term, 100%. This is not going to cure you. A depression, anxiety, they're not like a viral disease or a bacterial disease that if you take antibiotics, it's going to cure you. That's not how it works. It's suppression of symptoms. Yeah? So long-term, this is not going to help. The metaphor I like to give is, you know, if you're dehydrated, you get a headache, you know, that Panadol, paracetamol suppresses the headache's pain, but really the problem is that you are dehydrated. You should be drinking water. Same with antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. It's a symptom suppression. It's not the thing that will cure the underlying thing that's going on. So that's the first thing I want to say. A warning around, for those of you who are seeking help around medication, about what you should be looking for in your appointments, consultations, and a note that likely psychiatrists are going to be giving you some very good things to do. Do those things, not just take the pill. So that's what I'll say, first of all. The second thing is do things, so this is going to sound very simple, but do things that connect you with your body. We're going to keep this short, so I'm not going to go into detail, but trauma is stored in the body. Your poor mental health is likely going to be a result of trauma, like just statistically. And our bodies have a natural way of processing trauma, processing these bad things that happen to us that kind of are stuck inside of us and it's stored in our bodies. If we allow the natural process to take place, the trauma is lessened. The problem is that as a society, we are so disconnected from our bodies. We just live in our minds, we live in our thoughts. If I ask you how connected are you to your body, you might look at me in a confused way and be like, oh, I'm not sure. I might ask you, what do you feel in your body right now? And you might look at me like I'm crazy. You're like, I feel nothing. This is the thing. If you say, I feel nothing, you're so disconnected from your body because there's always something going on. So some practices to connect with your body, just very basic things, obvious things, and I'll give you some other things too. Exercise. Exercise mindfully. So whether it's running, when you're running, feel how your feet land on the ground, be aware of your muscles. So build that mind-body connection. If you're lifting weights, do the same thing. It can be CrossFit, whatever you're doing, using your body more, that will help. It will help you build that body-mind connection. Also, just letting out some energy. That's a natural way in which your body is processing trauma. The other thing is, now and again, notice how your body is feeling. So a good way to do this is when emotions arise. So maybe you say you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling worried, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling happy, you're feeling jealous. All of these feelings, emotions, that when that comes up, and these emotions come up in context, right? Something happens. So maybe your boyfriend is, I don't know, talking to another girl, or your mum is giving more nice food to your sibling. When that happens, instead of thinking about the situation and saying this is not just, this is why it's causing jealousy, try to notice how your body is feeling in that moment. Because when you're feeling jealous is a label that we give to a physical sensation that our body is having. The physical sensation tells us that something is not right with the situation. But yeah, instead of making up stories about it and thinking about it, which is going to generate more of these feelings, stop thinking about it, feel the emotion in your body, notice what that feels like. And then the emotion will shift, it will pass through. This is one of the biggest things one of the things that will have the biggest impact on your overall well-being. Learning how to be with your emotions instead of suppressing it, instead of regenerating these emotions in your body, just feel the feelings, allow yourself to feel. Same with anger. People think that anger is bad. Anger is not bad, it's just a feeling, it's just an emotion. If you can't be with that anger and then you end up going and hitting someone, that might be a bad thing. But the anger itself isn't bad. What actually happens is when we hit someone is that we can't be with the feelings on our bodies. We can't take it. This is why we go and hit someone, which is a release. But that's not the only way we can release, right? We can first of all allow ourselves to feel. Let that anger exist in your body. And then eventually you'll feel like actually a lot of that intensity just naturally goes away. And this is different to suppression, which is like, I'm not going to feel it. This is allowing yourself body to feel, and the emotion will naturally be processed. Then you can decide what you want to do afterwards. There are other ways to process anger, by the way, but we're not going to go through that today. So those two things, don't just take the pills, make sure you get the right kind of help. Feel your body, feel your emotions. No emotion is bad. It's not wrong to feel this way. I think those are the two main things that will help young people the most.